Okay, so we're back again, ready to look at the dynamics. So what we're going to do first is just go through and turn off our lights again, just so that we don't have them in the scene to get confused with. So what we're going to do is go through and select each of these cubes. Now you could select it all in the scene as I started doing, or you can go to the outliner and select one and then select them all by just shift selecting, and you'll get everything there. Okay, and so we want these, if we go to our Dynamics tab, we want these to be active rigid bodies. So we'll click on that. And now we'll give ourselves a little more time to work with. Now if we click play, you'll notice that nothing happens, which isn't so much a surprise because at the moment there is no gravity. So we're going to come up here and click on this gravity button, and that will make a gravity field. Now if we click on the play button, everything just falls straight through the ground. Why is that? Because these cubes haven't been told to actually interact with the ground. So we're going to go to select the floor and turn it into a passive rigid body. And now if we click play, you'll see that the boxes actually just sit on the ground, which is exactly what we want them to do. And we've got this nice little animation of this box falling and tipping these other boxes over. But at the moment it looks a little bit floaty, it looks a little bit unrealistic, and that at the moment is due to our gravity field. So if we have a look at that, we'll notice that the magnitude is at 9.8, which kind of makes sense, seeing as gravity is roughly 9.8 meters per second, but I've found that that's not a very good value to have in there, so I'm going to turn it up to 100. Okay, so if I play this back, you'll notice that each of the cubes are just kind of getting caught within the ground and just making a whole mess of the entire scene. So what we're going to try and do is actually give them a little bit of leeway so they're not forced directly into the ground. So I'm going to select all of these and deselect all the stuff in the background and just move it up a fraction. Then I'm going to select these here and move them up a tiny bit, and the same with this last cube. Now what that's doing is it means that they're not sitting directly on top of each other. They've got a little bit of give before they will actually collide. So we'll rewind that and see how that works. And so now we're not getting all this like crashing through one another sort of nonsense going on, and we're actually getting kind of a nice sort of animation here. There's a little bit of jittering at the end, but we can always clean that up. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at ways which we can slightly tweak the animation that's playing here by altering the properties of dynamics. Now we're going to have a look at static friction. The best way to do this is to just play around with different numbers. I know that I want to change the static friction because that will determine how still they'll stay once they're in contact with an object. So I'm going to put that up to 0.4 and hit play.